Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Drink at the Inn. I'm Kieran RH Wrestle Inn, and I couldn't be happier because I'm joined by the newest member of the United Empire from New Japan. He was the first European wrestler in history to win All Japan's World Junior Heavyweight Championship. He's going to be making his New Japan debut in upcoming Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Of course, I'm talking about the Nova Fireball, Francesco Akira. Francesco, thank you so much for joining me. How's it going, man?
It's a pleasure to meet you, man, and thank you very much for the invite. And I'm happy to be here. You said it right, newest member of the United Empire.
Yeah, repping well. You're no stranger to Japan, of course. You've got years of history of All Japan, and but now you're preparing to make your New Japan debut. But you're also no stranger to junior heavyweight tournaments because you won All Japan's Junior Battle of Glory in 2021. Yeah. How are you feeling about not only making your New Japan debut, but by doing it by competing in Best of the Super Juniors?
I mean, Best of the Super Junior is one of my biggest goals since I started my career, because Best of the Super Junior is the biggest tournament for the junior wrestler in the world, not just Japan, but in the world. Everyone wants to be in. And now I'm in, so I'm very excited, very, very excited. Nervous because the competition is high this year, with new members, guy I never faced before. I just wrestled Lindemann before of the 19 guys. So I'm very excited.
So, you're in the A block and it's absolutely stacked. The names in there are amazing. You've got guys like Hiromu Takahashi, who you'll be in the main event against in Sendai. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Taiji Ishimori, and in your first match, you're taking on Sho. Which names in your block are you most excited to compete with for the first time?
I think there's like a different match that is very important to me. Like, of course, Sho is going to be my first match in New Japan. So first impression is very important and it is going to be important. But then I'm main eventing like with Hiromu Takahashi on the third night of the tournament. And that's the one I'm most excited because Hiromu Takahashi is the face of the junior heavyweight division. And he represents everything. I used to watch him like a few years ago. He was the guy to watch. He's the guy to watch. And I want to beat that guy.
And then in the B block, there's your fellow United Empire teammate, TJP, Strong Hearts, El Lindemann, who you mentioned, and who you've got history with, and the man you confronted in your first appearance at Hyper Battle, Taiji Ishimori as well. El Desperado. Yeah. Are there any names in the B block that you wish were in the A block so that you could wrestle them as well, and hopefully you'll get to wrestle them in the future?
I mean, I want to be the final to be me and TJP, of course, all United Empire.
Yeah.
But I would like to have El Desperado because he was the guy that called me out when I still was in All Japan and when I still was like in the indie in England. So he's the guy that called me out and I want to show him like what I have. So that's the guy if he can make it to the final, that's the guy I want to wrestle for sure.
That it sounds like a main event worthy of the Budokan for the Best of Super Juniors final, Akira versus Desperado. I love it.
It would be very cool, but it will be, man. I will be there.
Hell yeah. You were first introduced to the New Japan audience at Hyper Battle, as I said, when you confronted Taiji Ishimori and El Desperado when he was then the champion. Were you happy with how that went? What was that experience like? The lights go down, they come up, and you're in the ring, this guy that's been teased for a few weeks as the newest member of the United Empire.
Yeah, I was like, Sumo Hall is one of the biggest and most important venue. It's like historical venue for sumo and especially for pro wrestling. And like, I was making my debut there. And when the lights go down and I just rush into the ring, I was like, oh shit, here we go. It was like, oh, it's like the moment I imagine and dream for all these years is coming true now. It's coming now. So it went just very quick. It was like 5 minutes probably, but I was very happy with it. People recognize me, some people not, but of course, because they're new to me, they maybe don't follow before where I was before. So I was happy with it and I'm happy that I show my persona there.
Yeah, because I mean, out of all the new guys to be entering the tournament, you're the only one that's kind of had that little bit beforehand. Like, there's lots of new faces coming in, like I've
Yeah,
said, but you're the only guy that got this bit. You're the first guy to announce you were going to be in the best of the Super Juniors, and you've done it in the face of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion and the next challenger. Like, not many guys get to do that. Like, I gotta think
that's true.
You're gonna do big things in the best of Super Juniors. I'm hoping, man.
I will, man. I will for the United Empire.
And then in the A block as well, another guy that I've not mentioned is, of course, Ace Austin, who's currently the X Division champion in Impact. When you inevitably take him on in the A block, if you get that win over him, would you be interested in challenging for his X Division title, perhaps showing up on Impact to try and get that title?
Of course, why I shouldn't? I mean, Impact is one of the biggest company around too, like in America and the world. X Division Championship is like reach of history, like champion like Ace Austin, Ishimori Taiji before too. So yeah, of course, if I get the win on him, that's the thing I'm planning. Yeah, why not? I really would like to challenge for the X Division too.
And then, just said Ace Austin, you've also got Wheeler Utah from AEW, you've got Titan from CMLL, El Lindemann, who's representing GLEAT, all competing in the best of the Super Juniors. So the forbidden door has been blown wide open already. But of course, AEW and New Japan are having the Forbidden Door joint show. Are there any names from AEW that are on your hit list that you want to step into the ring and wrestle one day?
I mean, my focus right now is on the best of Super Junior and New Japan Wrestler, of course. But I watch AEW too because I think they have a really good product and amazing wrestler. But my focus on best of Super Junior. If I say to have some name, I would say, for example, Dante Martin. I really like his work. Ray Phoenix, and all these kind of guy that has similar style to the junior. They are junior pro wrestler. So yeah, I would love to wrestle them.
Awesome. And I was checking out some of your previous interviews as well, and you said you on your bucket list is Wrestle Inn PWG. Are there any independent wrestlers that you've got your eye on as well at the moment?
I think there's a few, like, Blake Christian. I think he's really good talent. He just wrestled Ospreay, and he lose, of course, against Ospreay, but he did a really good, and he's the guy I would like to face. But like, he's coming, Alex Zane is coming too. He's the guy from GCW, PWG. So I'm excited to face him too.
And, we've said it, you're representing them well. You're throwing up the crown. You're the newest member of the United Empire. What led you to joining New Japan and also joining the United Empire?
I think United Empire right now is the best faction in New Japan, okay? Dontaku was Ballet Club event, of course. We lost the titles, but we getting poco a poco. That means little by little. We are taking over, like New Japan Strong. And like, I think every member is unique in United Empire. Every member is different, but there's not really one leader, but everyone is working together to make United Empire rise. So that's why I joined. Then my relationship with Ospreay was the kind that helped because he was the guy that mentored me and helped me when I had no one in Japan, when I was all by myself. So he was the guy that took care of me, give me feedback, and tried to make me better and like improve.
Right, yeah, no, it makes sense. So I wanted to, you mentioned as well, being in the UK, I wanted to talk about your time in RevPro, because I saw your first match with Robbie X at York Hall last year, but then your match with Gabriel Kidd earlier this year in York Hall just absolutely blew me away. Like, it was my match of the night by far. I know Meltzer gave Michael Oku and Will Ospreay 5 stars that night. He gave you and Gabriel Kidd 4.5 stars. But for me, your match with Gabriel Kidd was my match of the night. It was just 15 minutes, balls to the wall, hardcore, Chop City, battering each other. Did you know going into that you were going to create something special with Gabriel Kidd?
I mean, we were both guys that came through a dojo system, and we were hungry, like we are hungry. And that was a big platform because your call is special event, like most important venue, I think, in England. And like we were both very hungry, so I knew it wasn't going easy. So, but I'm very happy because we like tested each other and we killed each other. But in the end, we had fun. I think the crowd had fun, so that's the most important thing.
Oh yeah, no, I it's some of the most electric I've seen York Hall, man. I've been going there for about 8 years now, and that's one of my standout matches. It's probably one of the hardest hitting matches I've seen in York Hall.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
So I put up some asking for some questions on Twitter, and I had one from somebody I think you know. I think he's kind of a big fan of yours as well. He's a fellow member of the United Empire, Henare.
Oh, yeah.
Henare wanted me to ask, who is your favorite Polynesian?
That's tough, man. It starts with the H and end with the Henare. Let's say yeah, of course, man. He is like real tough guy and real like kickboxer and can beat you up like easily. So I really look up to him because we met before I joined New Japan too.
Mm-hmm.
We trained sometimes together, so I really appreciate him.
That's good. I was worried you were going to say someone else and I'd get in trouble with him. I had another Twitter question as well from Mattia, I think it's pronounced, who is actually from your hometown of Bergamo in Italy. And he wanted to know what it's like to come from a small city in Italy to this big platform where you are now competing in the Best of Super Juniors.
It's surreal, man. Like you think it cannot happen. Like I came from a city of 9,000 people where wrestling doesn't exist. Luckily, there was a school near my hometown. So, but I always believed I wanted to do this. But, it's like, I don't know, because the show in Italy is like 100, 200 people maximum. Most of the time, no money. And then being one of the biggest company in the world is like completely surreal. Like, and Sumo Hall, like from 20 people in the crowd to 5,000 at Ryogoku. So it's pretty surreal, but I'm very grateful for it.
That's awesome. Do you feel like maybe not pressure, but a responsibility or a desire to represent Italy on this big platform and to show that, yourself and there's other great talents, I'm sure, in Italy, and to show the world what you guys are capable of?
Of course, man. I always say that in every interview that one of my biggest goals too is to open the border, the forbidden door, let's say like this, on Italian wrestling too, because we have an amazing talent. The problem is that there's no like knowledge about wrestling anymore, because when it was cut off from TV, nobody knows where to find wrestling. Mm-hmm. So it got down. So I want to open that. I want to bring guys over too. I want to have like Revolution Pro to have Italian guys, or other company to have Italian wrestler, because we have some really good ones.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, are there any Italian wrestlers that you think are deserving of that bigger platform, that deserve to come over to RevPro in York Hall or have a stint in Japan? Are there any particular names that you think should have a bigger platform?
Yeah, absolutely. I have like a few names, like Nico Inverardi, that he wrestles sometimes in England, but especially in Italy. Mirko Mori, that used to wrestle in Progress. Travis, that is wrestling in Italy and wrestled for Beyond in America too. Or like Adriano, that is like one guy from Rome. And there's a guy now that is doing good called Renzo Rose, that is wrestling Tajiri in OTT soon. So yeah, there's a few good names, of course. But one of my goals too is to open a bigger school one day and like build up Italian talents.
Oh, that's awesome to hear, man. So sticking with Europe, we've gone from the UK, we've gone to Italy. I wanted to jump to Germany quickly because you was announced for WXW's Carat Gold tournament, but unfortunately you were injured and had to pull out. Is that still something that you hope you can do one year, like maybe next year, that you can still compete in the Carat Gold tournament?
I mean, I would love to. Like, as I said, like Carat is the biggest tournament in Europe, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tournament, and last year, like I did the biggest company just in like a few months. I did Revolution Pro, ICW, OTT, WXW, all in just a month. So I was very excited for the karat. Unfortunately, I couldn't, but that's still on my goal list of for sure.
So now we'll go all the way back to the other side of the globe, go back to Japan. What are your favorite parts of being in Japan aside from the wrestling? Like, is there any particular food in Japan that you love to eat or any particular places you love to go and visit?
I mean, my favorite place is Tokyo Station. I don't know. I just love that place. I don't know if you ever been to Japan too.
Yeah, I've been there 4 times, luckily.
Oh, okay, look. And I don't know if you ever been to Tokyo Station. I really love that place.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful
Yeah.
and especially calm, not like Shibuya. I used to love Shibuya when I got there the first week. The second week, I was like, no, there's too many people. But yeah, I love sushi and yakiniku. I love most of the food, but not natto. I ate natto. Like, I don't know if you ever tried.
I haven't, no.
It's just like fermented soybean, but I mean, some people like it, but I cannot like it. Yeah, I mean, I love Japan, like the culture and like the wrestling, of course.
You've talked about it in interviews before as well, but during the pandemic, you had to choose between going back home to Italy or staying in All Japan and working in the dojo and things, and you chose to stay in the All Japan dojo. You know, eventually that led to you winning the junior heavyweight tournament and also winning the World Junior Heavyweight Championship, as we said, being the first European to do so. What was it like to win that title? Was it kind of like made the struggle worth it to be away from home for so long? Was it kind of vindication?
It was like 2 years of staying away from home, no foreigners at the dojo, so I was the only one. And it was very tough. Every day training, every day doing dojo stuff. And it all came down to that day and that 1, 2, 3 when I won the title. Everything was worthy. Like, not that if I didn't win, it wasn't worthy, but it made everything feel special because finally I was the first European to do it. And my name was written down in the history of there, or Japan. So, but the place I wanted to be, now here I am. It's New Japan Best of Super Junior.
Yeah, and there's every chance, hopefully, you're going to be the first Italian to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship too.
I will, man.
I'm going to be waiting for it to happen, man. So, you know, we've spoken a lot about the junior heavyweight division, of course, because you're a junior, you're competing in the Best of Super Juniors. I can't wait for it to begin. But of course, a big part of New Japan is the heavyweight division. Are there any heavyweights in New Japan that you hope you can get into the ring with one day? Because, you know, obviously the junior heavyweights do mix it up in tag matches. You're going to be stood alongside your United Empire brothers and you're going to be taking on the likes of Chaos and Bullet Club. Are there any particular heavyweights that you are really eager to prove yourself against?
I will say, first of all, my mentor, like Osprey, he's the guy I look up. Like, he's one of the best wrestler in the world, I think. And to be in the ring with him could make me improve a lot, I think. But other than Osprey, I think Shingo Takagi. And I hope maybe New Japan Cup, who knows? There's junior and heavyweights. So who knows? Shingo, but a lot of guys, Naito, Okada, everyone is awesome in like there. So you cannot really choose. Everyone is a big opportunity, of course.
Yeah, no, of course. I love that. I tend to ask that question to most people and nearly everyone says Shingo as their first answer. Like,
yeah, he's the guy.
Everyone loves Shingo, like whether you're a fan or you're a wrestler, like everyone loves him. All right. Akira, I wanted to ask you a few rapid fire questions before we wrap things up, if that's okay with you, mate. So first off, what was the last film you watched?
Yesterday, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, you saw it, yeah?
Really good.
Yeah, I loved it too. I loved it. We won't say any spoilers, but yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
What was the first wrestling match you ever watched?
It's
tough. Or the first match you can remember watching, maybe?
I can remember very well The Rock versus Cena from WrestleMania 28, I think.
The first one.
Sure, yeah. For sure, I watched some match before, but I have that in my memories. Like, oh shit, yeah, okay, yeah.
that was my first.
The Rock is my favorite wrestler. That's why.
All right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. What was the last wrestling match you watched?
I watched today. Wait. Show yo. I'm studying for the Best of Super Junior, so I'm watching.
All right, yeah. Well, I'm totally rooting for you against Show, man. Enough of that House of Torture crap. Just get that 1, 2, 3 over him, please. If you could enter the ring to any wrestler's song, don't worry about copyright. Don't worry about anything like that. If you could have any music as your entrance theme, what would it be?
Francesco Akira. No, Stan Hansen. Stan Hansen.
Yeah. Right, the entirety of the Best of the Super Juniors will be streamed live on New Japan World with live English commentary. Please be sure to follow Francesco on Twitter at Francesco Akira and on Instagram at Francesco_Akira. Francesco, I also like to plug the people's merch, but I looked and I couldn't find if you had a merch store online. Do you have anything?
No, there's a European shop, but there's new stuff coming through. So please look out for them. Well, I think it's going to be released soon. But support the United Empire. We are planning the show in America soon in Philadelphia. So make sure you support the United Empire too.
I would try and throw it up, but I don't feel like I'll do it right.
It's like crap.
Yeah. Right. Francesco, thank you so much for joining me, for being so generous with your time. Grazie mille. All the best in Japan. I can't wait to see you kill it in Best of the Super Juniors. You know, I've enjoyed seeing you so much in RevPro. I'm so glad.
I will come back here as the Best of Super Junior winner, okay?
Hell yeah. Get that trophy. Come back to your call, man. I'll be there front row. That was A Drink at the Inn. We are Wrestle Inn, and now we're out.